Hi, everybody. Welcome to Creative Process. I'm Reese McCormick, and I have been teaching a course called Creative Process for over 30 years here in Dallas at KD Conservatory, where we train actors and filmmakers. And in that class, the definition that we use for creative process is to put things together in a new way. To put things together in a new way. So when I decided to open up this conversation to a wider audience, to the public here with you, I didn't have to look very far to find my first guest, Mr. Brady Talk. Welcome to the show, Brady. And I think it's safe to say that you are the undisputed king of Sock Puppet Parody. So what did Brady do to become the embodiment of creative process and the definition, putting things together in a new way? Well, I think to take a familiar venue like a music video and to turn it on its head, to twist it, to add his own brand, his own style in such a way that, well, I don't think anybody has ever before thought of heavy metal and cute and cuddly in the same thought until now. So before we get into your googly-eyed little friends, what I'd like to start with is, I'd like to go back to your genesis. Let's get in the Wayback Machine and go back to maybe high school or junior high, wherever it was that you began to think of yourself and visualize yourself as a filmmaker. Because I know you weren't thinking sock puppets when you started. So let's take that journey with you. So when did all this start?
So during high school, I had some vague idea that I wanted to become a filmmaker. It solidified over time. I turned all my elective classes into filmmaking class. We didn't generally have like camera class or any specific career guiding class like in those ways. But you know what? I made do. I turned theater into, set building class. Debate was then writing class. And yeah, that's where it all began. So I decided, you know what, in high school, I can try to pursue this as hard as I can and see where it goes.
And how did you end up at KD?
Whenever that was a very interesting process. So KD is an interesting school, and it's a film school, and it was relatively new at the time. This was some years back. But I heard about KD from somebody who was an actor there. And, they looked a lot like the character from Dexter, the TV show. And they actually mentioned, you know what? One of the teachers there has some affiliation with Dexter. It was Dennis. And Dennis Bishop, he was actually affiliated with the show on Showtime. He
produced the pilot, yeah.
Exactly. And you know what? I thought that was so cool. So I kind of got an idea that the people who work at KD are actually industry professionals. And I was like, if anyone could teach me how to do it, it would be the people who know how to do it, who have done it for a living for X amount of years. And I thought that was very interesting. So I kind of got hooked in. I went over to KD and checked it out. And it's a small school, but I saw all of the value, the combined experience between all the instructors there. And I thought that would benefit me. I liked the price range. And also I didn't have to travel really far to go there. So that kind of pushed me all the way. I was like, you know what? I'll sign up. It's going to work out. We'll be okay.
And you were done in 15 months. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was a 15-month program. This is supposed to be a 2-year degree, and it's accelerated to 15 months. So it definitely taught me the industry style of go, 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 because that's just how it has to be done to cram 2 years worth of school into 15 months.
Yeah. And then when you graduated, there's a number of things that a filmmaker can do to make a living, but you, if I'm not mistaken, correct me, you became a freelancer, because I remember seeing you on the EarthX film crew at Earth Day at Fair Park, and I saw you at Flight of the Conchords. I went to the concert and you were on the film crew, and then you joined, you started teaching at KD, summer camps for film, but you were also kind of an Indiegogo guru. You knew a lot about crowdfunding, because I actually enlisted you to help me with my Paul Baker documentary. So all of that was kind of fomenting and brewing. And then what led to you actually getting this idea for sock puppets?
Oh, yeah, for sock puppets. After graduation, it had been a wild ride. I had jumped from all kinds of different just jobs that were interesting to me and I thought I could learn, like the Indiegogo you were mentioning. At some point, I kind of settled in and I thought, you know what sounds really fun is to make music videos for a living. And I had just met Johnny on a music video shoot I did for Rivethead, a local band. They actually do a lot of the music for us now at this point in time.
Wait, who's Johnny? Johnny Zero. You can actually say your partner is Jay-Z.
Yeah, he's Jay-Z. I work with Jay-Z very often. But Johnny Zero, he wanted to just help out in any form or fashion. I said, hey, come out to the Rivethead shoot. I just started an Indiegogo campaign for it, so he heard all about it through the marketing for that. So he was invested to some extent by then. So I invited him out to shoot. We raised about just under our amount that we needed for the Indiegogo, and supplemental individual donations like food and location stuff helped us get the rest of the way there. Johnny, he worked as a PA. That day he graduated to DIT, and then by the end of the project he got to producer, at least post-production producing. So I was like, Johnny, let's get serious and teach you how to like make music videos. Let's do stuff that will get you fully there. Now, I do have to backtrack because during this Indiegogo campaign, there was one thing that really helped us get so close to our goal, and it was this video we made. Rivethead, we had tapped their fan base. So we were sending videos all the time, but the well had gone dry, so to say. Yeah. And we just needed another thing to just kick us. We were so close, right? And that's whenever I went to Rivethead's rehearsal space with Carolina, which our puppet master is out in our audience right now. And
Carolina.
Hello, Carolina. And we saw these sock puppets on their mic stands. A person by the name Big John, he helped a lot with Rivethead behind the scenes, like loading and certain things along those lines. And he actually made them little sock puppets, no arms or anything like that. And I was like, let's do something with that. Carolina was like, add some arms.
Wait a minute, somebody was using them just as a cover?
I think they just hung them up. It was for like a fun project. He made these dolls every now and then. Big John was a very interesting person and creative and just loved Rivethead. And he made them little sock puppets, and they just kept them around, and never made a video with them. But we decided that, you know what, if we can't raise the money for this Rivethead music video, this is what it's going to look like. So we got those little sock puppets. We put arms on them, and we made little instruments. And
so it was like, don't let this happen to you. It's like, don't let the band fall into this ridiculous state. Okay, nice.
Exactly. And that night we uploaded, and the fans saw it. It activated that audience, and we got a big push from it. And I knew that there was something to do with it. Like I should explore this idea more. But meeting Johnny on the music video was great, and we had kind of forgotten a little bit about this sock puppet stuff, but I did want to train him, and me and Johnny decided to go to a show which was Static X, and the singer has this long spiky hair, so whenever he's performing he's like moving, and it just looks very iconic. Like at some point me and Johnny just looked at each other and we're like, this guy has to become a sock puppet, and that was our first one, and there's a little video to show along with that. Oh, great.
Do we have the video?
And if you see that spiky hair that we made out of pipe cleaners, that is actually what he looks like. It's almost like a Slim Jim, slip into a Slim Jim. That spiky hair was just so iconic that me and Johnny, we left, and that night we stayed up until 3 a.m. He called his musician, he's an artist too, and he was like, hey, can you come out? We really want to do this project. And we knocked out this Static X music in not too long. So that's when we officially became a garage band. And we started making little art and stuff in Johnny's garage and filmed it in his upstairs room.
So there was no sticking point between concept and execution.
Yeah.
It just was a greasy slide. And there's a saying, good things take time, great things happen all at once. And it seems like that's what, it didn't take long for your fans to start accumulating. What's your fan base now?
So our fan base on YouTube is 150,000 subscribers, but we are over 5 million views on YouTube at this time. Mm-hmm. It could be over 10 million views at this time. There's been videos that people have taken for themselves and uploaded to Facebook that have gotten to 30 million views.
Mm.
You know, that day, whenever somebody posted our Metallica video to Facebook, we actually had a radio station talking about us, and that's how I found out. You know, it's like,
Oh.
wow, people are watching these. So
Yeah. What was the hardest one that you ever did?
Okay, so this is season 2 stuff. That first season, we put 6 episodes together to see if it will work, and we got a big hit on the Slayer video. So we decided to sign up for season 2. It's got to be bigger. It's got to be better. It's got to do everything we want it to. And for some reason, during this, we thought of making a one-take type shot with the song that we wanted to do for the Beatles, which we call it the Feedles in the sock world. So we rewrite those lyrics.
Wait, stop. Sidebar. Who writes your lyrics?
Generally, I'll be the one who writes the lyrics, but it's a very collaborative process because I like to bounce ideas with everyone. And once I bounce an idea and get a good amount of laughs from people, then I know I'm keeping it, it's locking in. So
and these are all these cheesy bad foot jokes and sock jokes and laundry jokes and
it is a lot of puns. Let's just say that. And there seems to be a lot to go with. So the Beatles is in one of those realms.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the Feedles, we wanted a one take. A one take, if you don't know, is where you try to shoot everything all at once. So some people get like camera stuff. They coordinate a bunch of different things all happening at once. Well, we wanted to have 3 different songs for the Beatles. There's too many great songs from the Beatles, right? So we wanted 3 different ones in one, and for each song, we would have a set change, and it was all going to be in a wide shot, right? And we were going to have that in the can and go home, right? No, not exactly that way. I recruited help from actually a KD grad, Paul Gleason. He lives over in New Mexico now. But upon working with Paul, he started telling this person to do that, this person to do that. Okay, when you're done with that, move over here, lower this down, raise this up. And at some point, Paul just rubs his head and he's like, Brady, this is an AD's nightmare. An AD, an assistant director, someone who says action to all those cues. And I just couldn't help but laugh because I knew we were in the thick of it. And I didn't know if we were going to get out alive. Maybe alive, but not the same as we were when we went in. So, but we do have a video of that too.
But you did it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Let's see it.
So we do have a video. So that showcases one of the cuts between song 2 and song 3.
Yeah.
And
has Paul ever worked with you again?
Has Paul? You know what? He has mentioned that he wanted to do some more stuff. Now it's a logistical thing. Oh, I live in New Mexico, so he's gotten away for now. But maybe if he comes back to Dallas, we'll have to do a little something. But. And
he is marrying a KD grad. That's going to be. I don't know if you knew that or not, but Amy and Paul are. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about them. They've been there for a while.
Okay, so we've seen your hardest one. What have the fans said was their favorite? What's the most popular one?
So I think by far the one that always gets people's attention right off the bat, it's our iconic Sock Puppet Parody song. If I show it to someone who has enjoyed Sock Puppet Parody in the past, they will always remember this one. And it was a band that we did. This is a very heavy metal band from the 90s. And so we decided that, you know what, combining metal and sock puppets is a great juxtaposition where it's just like soft and cute, but like really angry. So it just makes something special there. And I think this one showcases that idea the best. And it's our Slipknot one. We decided to do the band Slipknot, which is a band that wears these masks that are like almost grotesque looking. And they play lots of heavy music. They got a lot of percussive drums. Like, it's a very big show. Like, they have nine members in the band. And so yeah, I know. So we made 9 puppets, and we had something like 12 puppeteers on our set that day. And we actually filmed this one at KD. there was a little studio space for us, and I was running out of places to film because this took more people than originally intended. You know, like, oh, we're gonna need these logistics. So I called Katie and Dennis Bishop, and I was like, please let us in your doors, and they were like, absolutely, but we're gonna take the students by to check it out. And I was like, that sounds perfectly fine.
Field trip.
Yeah, exactly. And if they're standing there too long, they might get put to work. So.
I felt the dew rise up in me, worn down by dust stains I can clean. I disinfect things you can't see, inside the pit I wait and bleed. I found the dew.
Do you use volunteers?
All of Sock Puppet Parody, as of right now, is a volunteer basis. So that's kind of how we have been doing it, and that's why it takes time between each episode. Like, we can't expect to see a Sock Puppet Parody very often, but we do always like to do Halloween specials and stuff like that, just to make sure that there's at least something there. But yes, that's how Slipknot went. There was 12 people. Every time you do a sock puppet shoot, by the time you get to the end of the song, your arm is burning, you're suffering, you may be contorting yourself in very strange ways just to get the right shot and flailing. This is heavy metal music, so it has to be fast-paced and accurate at the same time.
Yeah.
At the end of the take, you would hear a collective sigh from all of these 12 people just screaming, ah, you know, just ready to relax. So it was a fun amount of suffering, I would say. It doesn't.
Well, what is your? I'm going to give you a choice for this next question. Pick. You can talk about your favorite moment in sock puppet history or a moment that didn't work.
You know what? I think my favorite moment in sock puppet history was whenever we were still in season 1. And we hadn't had much success. We released our Static X one, and it was a big flop. It was Nirvana one, and that one didn't get any traction. And then finally, we got to our Slayer one, and we were like, well, you know, I hope this works. We were only doing 6 total to just kind of get the hang of it and see if it goes anywhere. Whenever we put Slayer out there, the band themselves, they actually posted it to their Facebook, and it made its rounds on all the media sites that post music related to that genre. And we were I was actually at ACL at the time, Austin City Limits, trying to do a job over there with the bands, and I just kept checking my phone. People would text me and be like, hey, Slayer posted your video, you know. So that moment is a very warm spot for me, just like knowing that like the band themselves actually appreciate things like this.
So it was the band's recognition of it's like in the SAG Awards when actors are voting for actors, it's like your own people. I mean, it's got to be gratifying.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Well, what's next?
To have an up next, we've been doing this for a very long time. It's almost a meme at this point, where we're working on season 3. We actually have been doing pre-production for the last year. That means we've been making puppets and like making their wardrobes, getting all of our ducks in a row, like shot lists and like who's going to be what role for this or how we're going to shoot it. So we've been doing a ton of pre-production for a new season, and it's at the pace of volunteer rate. So, you know, but good news is we actually just shot a parody for season 3. So it's well on its way, and we are scheduled to shoot another one, weather permitting though. So, but yeah, and we have the music done. Like I said, we've been working with Rivethead, the band, a local band in Dallas. They're great, check them out. But we've been working with them, and they have just been cranking songs out. So it's been so awesome to work with such a dedicated team to make the music. All the lyrics are done for about 13 episodes. So there's a lot in the works. It's a lot of work. These little sock puppets, they take a lot of energy. So yeah. So that's what I'm looking forward to. The recent one that I just shot, I am just in love with how it looks. It's just such a funny concept too. I wish I could tell more about it but you will see it when it comes out if you do like and subscribe. So our YouTube page. So
okay. So it occurred to me, you know, when a show is over, what happens to the little puppets? Don't tell me you tear them apart and you repurpose them, their eyes and their hair and their...
Oh gosh, there's no way I could do that to our
Where do
little
they
puppets.
live?
I actually have been collecting these, and before we had Gas Monkey Live as a studio space upstairs there, and we had plenty of room to make a wall of fame or maybe a wall of shame. But
infamy.
Yeah, infamy, definitely infamy. But we would hang them all up there. Nowadays, we keep them in a really safe box that we can because every now and then we might want to do a promo shoot with certain puppet or anything like that. So we do not destroy them. They're still there. They're alive.
And you know what? Someday you might be able to auction them, sell them for big money. Those could be fundraising puppets. So what do you think is what do you think is most important for a collaboration? What's the best asset? What's the best attribute?
I think that to have a good collaboration, it takes being able to listen to everyone's opinion, taking constructive criticism. Whenever there's something that maybe isn't working, maybe taking a step back and like being able to listen to others. Our team is so good. Like the Sock Puppet Parody team is not just me, it's everyone included in it. And I have to definitely rely on like them doing things better, because that's what I love about film. And that's one of the reasons why I love film so much ever since high school, is that film is a very collaborative medium. I can't do alone what I can do together with my friends. And that's what makes it so special, and why certain media I have enjoyed or movies that I have enjoyed are so profound, is because it took all of the team members to take it to that next level. So I think being able to listen.
Who inspires you?
You know what? I really love watching music videos by Michel Gondry, a French music video artist. Obviously, I've been inspired by Tim Burton, anything along those lines. But Michel Gondry, it's one of the favorite. And also, I had a very keen likingness to Godzilla, versus Mothra. So classic miniature cities where a dinosaur, a man in a suit, comes and breaks through. You can't call Godzilla a dinosaur. It's more of
no dinosaur. What do you call him?
I don't know. I would say a giant lizard.
Okay.
Prehistoric lizard, dinosaur. It's a gray area, but all of those things have inspired me, and I think that reflects in what I do in my media creation. I love to make very vibrant sets or just very interesting perspectives of, I guess I'm at a loss for words, but I enjoy making very vibrant sets, even miniatures, and those have always just made me happy. And I think that's why Sock Puppet Parody works so well.
Yeah, it seems like the groundwork was laid, and then when you had your aha moment, that's why it was so easy, because it was all kind of in there anyway. So thinking about, starting off now, the industry has changed so much since COVID. What would you say to somebody who was interested in beginning a film career? What would you recommend?
Whenever I decided to start a film career or begin my film journey, more or less, it was to try to learn as much as I can and like try to pick up as many friends or colleagues that I could along the way. And I think, like things like going to KD was really a good jumpstart to my career. But even before then, I wrote a list of how to become like a successful filmmaker, and I broke it down to one task at a time. This is very creative processy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But this is interesting. So you made a list?
Yeah, of what it might take to get somewhere close, to being in the film industry. And that list included like go to X amount of film festivals and shake as many filmmakers' hands as you can, and things along those
That's true
lines.
For actors too.
Yeah.
Because, and I always tell actors, I say, you don't want to have your head shot with you, but you can certainly have a business card with your picture on it, because you don't know who you're standing in line behind for popcorn at a festival, you know.
Exactly. And to this day, it's also I think being humble is super important. I am not like above any type of work. I try to, also help people where they need help. It could be this type of marketing thing, or it might just be some grunt work to get their shoot ready, or lighting the scene. there's nothing that I think is above me, or
Beneath you.
Beneath me, excuse me. There's nothing that I think is beneath me. So I try to take whatever job I can, as long as I feel as I can learn from them and meet and make good connections with people. So I think focusing on those connections, how do you find the right person? Is there hobby groups around? In this day and age, there's online groups where you can sign up and find those people. There's also like associations for filmmakers. There's also like the Dallas Film Society or Dallas Film Commission. There's also the Dallas Film Commission, which could be like a good starting point.
Dallas Producers Association and Women in Film.
Exactly. Yeah, those are great resources for.
It's a networking business, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I think all of life is who you know. I know so many people in other fields who they got where they are now because somebody opened a door, but in our business especially. So I really want to open up this creative process exploration to beyond the entertainment industry. So I just want to pick your brain a minute. Is there any body or any topic that you would be interested in seeing on a podcast like this about creativity? I mean, if you think about the wide world, about, cake decorating and building a nuclear reactor, I mean, any kind of innovation, any kind of creativity, what interests you outside of what we do?
That's something to think about. I think with the creative process, it is applicable to almost any type of job, career, or anything of that nature. But I would really be interested in seeing it through the lens of an engineer, especially like physical, mechanical engineer, and seeing how they problem solve. Like, do they get the whiteboard out, or is it a big thing and they draw schematics? I would love to see the creative process with someone to do with engineering. I'm not as.
So I should ask Elon Musk to come on my show.
Elon Musk, you can ask him, or the rocket scientists that are at SpaceX, if you can.
Oh
get
my
them on.
gosh, yeah.
But I did a documentary, or I didn't do the documentary. I worked with a creator who was making a documentary with some of those rocket scientists, and I was just thinking the whole time, wow, they think about things and in different ways, and I thought that would be really interesting if you could pick their mind even more.
Yeah, there's no right way. That's what I love about teaching this. I mean, all these years, that's why I've been so intrigued and taking the conversation beyond actors and filmmakers. But well, we're almost out of time. So I want to, first of all, I want to thank Sarah Mosias, my producer, and Ashley Goodis and Ziggy Becker here at Real News PR. And I want to especially thank Brady for coming on, the Sock Puppet King. Remind us where the domain where we can find you.
You can find us at sockpuppetparody.com, or you can go to the YouTube and just type in YouTube and type in Sock Puppet Parody. We will come up. You'll find us.
I wore my Argyle socks today, so in honor of your logo. And I also want to thank my sponsors, KD Conservatory. We are starting a brand new semester in February. So if that sounds like you, check us out on kdstudio.com or call the school and come down for a tour. You might even run into Brady there. I will be happy to give you a tour. And so I guess our thought for the day is inspired by you. None of us is as smart as all of us. That's your creative process thought for the day, and we will see you next time.